Ever since I got into filmmaking, I wanted to make genre films. Thrillers, westerns, sci-fi. Stories bigger than life. Bigger than my own life, at least. But in film school, they told me the same thing over and over again. Write what you know. And I was 20. What did I know? A couple of breakups, feeling lost. That's what everyone's films were about. Almost every short film my classmates shot was just another version of the same thing. Some kid wandering through life, trying to figure it all out. And I realized we'd all been told the same thing. And we'd all believed it. Then, one day, a friend told me that another version of the saying is, write what you know to be true. And that changed everything. Because here's the problem. If you only write what you know, you're limiting yourself to the person you already are. You're not learning, you're not growing, you're just describing your present state. And that's not storytelling. The saying is often attributed to Mark Twain, but some also credit Ernest Hemingway, who famously said, "The writer's job is to tell the truth. All you have to do is write one true sentence. Write the truest sentence that you know, and then go from there." Hemingway's approach to writing was rooted in personal experience, but he also understood that fiction isn't about simply reliving past experiences. It's a way to explore and express deeper, universal truths. He wrote about war, bullfighting, and deep existential struggles, but he wasn't just documenting. He was translating what he understood about courage, fear, and the human condition. So let's take a look at some of the most influential films ever made. Did Ridley Scott know what it was like to battle aliens when he directed Alien? Did Steven Spielberg ever predict crimes with psychic visions before making Minority Report? Did Francis Ford Coppola ever run a mafia empire as in The Godfather? No. But they knew something deeper.
There is an explanation for this, you know.
Alien isn't just about a space monster. It's about isolation, survival, and corporate indifference.
It's a damn company. What about our lives, you son of a bitch?
Minority Report is about free will, fate, and the ethics of predictive justice.
I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks.
Give the man his hat.
The Godfather isn't just about crime. It's about power, family, and the cost of ambition.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Even in more grounded films, this holds true. When Bong Joon-ho wrote Parasite, he wasn't a con artist infiltrating a rich family's home. But he understood about class struggle. He understood what it feels like to be an outsider, to see a divide so deep that it seems impossible to cross. And that's what made the film resonate.
우리 다송이는 완전 예술가 재질인데.
무슨 편지를 그린 거죠?
자화상이에요.
If these directors had stuck to only what they had experienced firsthand, we wouldn't have some of the greatest films of all time. So what does it really mean to write what you know to be true? At its core, I think, it means understanding something on a human level. Empathy is the key to storytelling. You don't have to be a soldier to write about war, but you do have to understand fear, sacrifice, and camaraderie. You don't have to be a politician to write about corruption, but you do need to understand about power and greed. The deeper you dig into the essence of human experiences, the more truthful your stories will feel, even if they're set in galaxies far, far away.
Feel, don't think. Use your instincts.
I will.
May the Force be with you.
Philosophers like Aristotle argued that all great art should contain some form of truth. He called it mimesis, not just imitation of reality, but a recreation of universal experiences in a way that helps us better understand the world. Great storytelling doesn't just mirror life, it interprets it, challenges it, and sometimes even changes it. Aristotle also believed that art needs to be framed by a certain distance from the raw material of life to have its full effect. Therefore, mimesis should not be confused with mere replication. It involves a process of selection and framing, much like a dancer exaggerating the movements of walking. True art creates its own reality, one that feels both alien and familiar at the same time. In genre films, we can see this play out. The stories may seem fantastical or far removed from our reality, yet they often address universal human concerns. It's this distance from the real world that allows us to process these themes more deeply. When we watch a story unfold on screen, we are invited to empathize with characters who might be experiencing extraordinary circumstances, but we also understand their struggles in terms of our own lives. And that's how I ended up writing my current screenplay. I wanted to explore the delicate balance between security and freedom, how they support yet often contradict one another. If I had followed that old advice, if I had just stuck to what I know, I never would have written this film. So if you're a filmmaker, a writer, an artist, don't let anyone tell you to stay in your lane. Go out, observe, learn, read books, watch people, and listen. The more perspectives you take in, the more truths you'll recognize. And that's where great storytelling comes from. Because the best films aren't just about what we've lived. They are about what we know to be true. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about filmmaking and how I go about realizing my freshly baked script, leave a like and follow. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.